For another live episode of It's About Time. We got two cameras going simultaneously. You guys will be able to see this on Facebook, but then also through YouTube. So welcome back to another episode of It's About Time. Kind of gracing our presence today, back fresh from his cruise, Mr. Drew Pizzulo, along with, we have our special guest, you guys know Ashley.
Hello.
Of course, who's been on our previous Facebook Live episode when we did the question and answer from the beach. Let's see. Let's jump into what's on the wrist today. I'm gonna let Drew go first, of course.
Well, since I was in Bermuda the past week, I had to wear my Bulgari dual time zone watch. So this is the GMT version of the Bulgari. There you go for Facebook Live.
Overpriced!
There you go. Yeah, all right. You know how Jared feels about that, baby?
Huge sneeze.
Sure. Dual time zones. I was in
allergies.
2 different time zones, so I needed it for the past vacation. But I am back
Am
now.
I getting notification that we're live? Yeah, I am.
Good
Nice.
job for you. What's on your wrist?
Alright, so guys, listen. It's really not a surprise. I'm going to show both cameras. I call this the M and F'er, and I'm not saying the word because we're live. I said M and F'er. The Mito Ocean Star Captain 80-hour power reserve. It's absolutely unreal. Day date, blue dial, unidirectional rotating bezel.
Billy's on your Facebook Live.
And of course, we got the adjustable class one. So I just want to let you guys know this. JLC or
Oh, God.
as they're pronounced. What they do is they do a master control series for 1,000 hours. So that's what I decided to do. I've never done this before. I'm letting this run for 1,000 hours. It started on Wednesday, September 30th, 6:05 in the morning. I'm going to let it run for 1,000 hours. I'm not going to reset it. And my guess right now is it's going to be between 3 to 4 minutes fast after 42 days, which is about 1,000 hours. And damn, that would be really impressive if I can do that. So this is my new everyday. If anybody out there can find a watch that is better than this for that like $600 price point, I pay you off. Not gonna
Heard it
happen.
here.
Not gonna happen.
Heard it first here.
Yeah.
Anyway, today's episode.
Billy, how do we look?
Amazing. Is he on Facebook Live too?
I love it.
Aw.
So, yeah,
Oh, that's how you know.
He's streaming
They
it.
are.
He's streaming it.
Sweet deal.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, today's episode. Recently on the cruise, I had found out some piece of information that maybe a few people know, but not too many do. The mega group Citizen, the watch company, has purchased 4 brands over the past year, and I'll name the 4 of them: Monaco, which not a lot of people know. Lovato, which is actually very interesting, made up here in Paramus, New Jersey.
They were independent. Or
They were
Paramus Watch
independent. Nope, they were independent. Alpina, which is what the brochure I have over here, and Frederic Constant. These last 2 are 2 very well-known Swiss brands. So what Citizen is trying to do is buy up the smaller Swiss brands while they can still get them and add them into their portfolio. But what they have done over the past year is they have finally started to compete with Fitbit and Apple Watch in the digital smartwatch market. And what they basically are doing with their Horological collection is they are taking, I'll show you over here, both on Facebook Live, after
Nice
I
job.
nailed my foot. Thank you. All
It's
right,
just to kill ourselves today.
take a look at that.
That didn't sound like it hurt.
All right, so
Like right in here.
the Horological,
That's
sorry, I don't
how
even feel it after the sunburn. So after the Horological version, what this version does, which is a little bit different than Fitbit or the Apple Watch, is the fact that it runs on battery, okay, which the others do too. But those, the Apple and the Fitbit, both need to be charged either daily or weekly. This doesn't need to charge for 2 years. Okay, this is like a regular, if you were to go and buy a nice quartz watch, what they're basically saying is we're going to have a luxury quartz watch. You don't have to change the battery for 2 years, so you don't have to charge the sucker. What's interesting and different about this, it has a different cell behind the watch that takes all the information for your heart rate, for your sleep patterns, for your cholesterol, for everything that Fitbit and Apple are known for doing. And they transfer them onto your phone through an app called Mobile X. You download the app and it gives you instant notifications. Not only does it do that, it also gives you instant notifications for when people call or text you. So you could be theoretically, it's also waterproof up to 10 ATM. So you could be underwater, you could be swimming, and then if somebody calls you or texts you.
Don't use that really with a leather strap because that wouldn't be the smartest thing.
Exactly, but totally off point. And if you're basically underwater and you're swimming or you're doing anything water sports, you can know if somebody's calling or texting you. It will buzz, just like it's almost like a pager to go.
Does your phone
the modern day version of
with
the
the Apple Watch? Because if you're like in the ocean, your phone's away, you're not going to get that notification, right?
Your phone now, yeah, exactly. Your phone's got to be with you somewhere. I'm assuming in the vicinity. But this uses the Bluetooth technology. So how far does Bluetooth usually go?
About, I don't know, 50 to 100 feet.
What would you say, Ashley?
Yeah, about the same.
About the same, right? So you got about 150 feet. This is what's good and bad about the watch and the same thing. I think it's a great first step to get in to compete with the Fitbit market. Obviously, Fitbit and Apple Watch have had a head start.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashley, you've had the Fitbit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what was your biggest problem with it?
The battery life only lasting about 6 months.
Right. And the thing that you liked best about it was what?
That it had live access, so you got to see the number of steps instantly, you got to see what your heart rate was instantly right on the screen. And so that's where I think that this might be a little bit off because it does have to feed to your phone, but moving in the right direction.
Drew, did you tell everybody what the price point on this is? It's both retail and wholesale.
Okay, good question. The price point of the Fitbit usually goes anywhere between $100 and $150. Am I correct basically on that? Okay, I've never had one, that's why I'm asking. Basically, with the Apple Watch, you're around anywhere, I'm assuming from $300 to $500.
Apple Watch, I think it's way more than that.
The newer models maybe. I'm saying probably the older models anywhere between $300 and $500.
I think it's like $500-$600.
But it could be $500 or $600.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6.
This, when they retail, these new watches by Alpina and Frederic Constant retail around $1,100, but you can get them on eBay anywhere between $400 and $600. Okay, so again, you're in that $400 and $600 area. The question being, and especially to people who have had a Fitbit, this really doesn't apply to Jared, really doesn't apply to me because we've never had these types of watches. We know a decent amount about them, but the only way to get the true answer of where they are and where they should be is from somebody who actually has used them for several different purposes. So we are not theoretically the experts on this episode. It would be Ashley, who is our expert.
Ashley, would you get something like this?
So this is tough, right? So the $400 to $600 price point is a little steep for myself, but we were having a conversation earlier. And generally, one person that buys a Fitbit is likely to buy another one. So that could be $300, but the buyer doesn't look at it that way. So you'd rather have a lower price point. So for me personally, I don't wear watches, and the price point's too high for me, so I wouldn't buy it.
What price point would be the sweet spot?
So thinking about Fitbit, if we're pricing that about 100, 150, probably about 150, 200.
Okay.
So not much more. That's why I would automatically jump to the Apple Watch because that is more instant gratification. But again, yet for me, it's still off where it needs to be. For me, it needs to be that one-stop shop tool. So if I am going to wear something on my wrist, I want to see it there. I don't want it to have to feed to a cell phone.
Well, the other question I have for you, because I know that this could be on a lot of people's minds, would you wear something that's even, let's say, 36 minutes, like smaller than that, to be working out, to be doing all the workout activities that you want to do? Like, would you want to wear something on your wrist to be doing something?
So when I work out with my trainer, I'm taking everything off, so rings included.
So you wouldn't wear it?
I wouldn't wear it, everything. But that would be everything because you're working out.
Interesting.
And let's take a look at some of the negatives.
You're not also carrying your phone with you either, right?
Right, that's true. So you have a couple of negatives. The phone has to be with you.
When you wear, or do you leave it in a locker?
Locker.
You do.
Yeah, the phone has to be with you for this to be, for the data to sync to the actual phone. So that would be a negative.
Oh yeah, by the way, this does back up and it does sync. Like,
does back up and sync.
I don't know how often it does that. I'm sure maybe once a day.
Now the attractive feature is the battery, because we're saying
the battery. Yes, the battery is
2
the
years
most
without doing it.
2 years without charging it, and we all know there's one thing more than Fitbit hates breaking the thing. They hate charging it. Nobody wants to charge their watch. It's bad enough to charge your phone.
Do you want to hear even the coolest thing? And you guys know this because you guys are fans. Do you want to hear even the coolest thing? An automatic watch never needs a battery.
That is true. We haven't
That
gotten
could
there
be an
yet.
improvement.
That is, I would guess that would be a future design
But
for
it's
an eco
shipped
drive
within
watch.
that to
Yeah,
communicate
keep in mind, it
but,
says
but it would still need some sort of.
So why do you think they
electronic
didn't
something.
opt to do that during the first iteration?
Because with mechanical pieces, there's nothing that's electronic about it. Everything is just screws, levers, little pinions, little wheel, like column wheels that turn. They would have to improve, like get engineers in or whatever it is, to make an electronic component that would go somewhere inside, like fit inside the case of the mechanical components. Now, is it possible? Absolutely.
very similar.
But it would need a little circuit board. And
So
I don't
make
know if
it
they
more
could do
pricey, ultimately.
Yes.
Way more pricey, but
So
a lot
for
more
first-
complicated.
yeah.
If
They
something
did
broke
this
down
about
on
10
that,
years
I don't
ago
know.
with the
Yeah.
auto quartz.
Yeah.
The auto quartz was a watch
Yeah.
pretty much made by Tissot. And what happened with the auto quartz was when you wound the watch, like we were talking about with automatic watches, with your wrist movement, it wound that, it charged the
It
battery.
would almost be like a 50% automatic, and like then the other part would be like a circuit board.
And that's where they have to go with this.
Yeah.
They have to have when you're winding the watch, it charged the battery.
Now,
and use
I
that
think-
as the supply source.
I think that would make things like that would. I think that would change this whole thing. I would even consider getting something like that.
I think, yeah,
I would
an
consider
auto
getting
quartz
something like that, for
combination
sure.
to this watch would make even more efficient than just the quartz version. I happen to think this is.
But I'm intrigued by that because you were
Yeah.
arguing the whole concept behind the smart.
Yeah, well, I
Behind
mean,
it.
the reason why I say is because, and you guys probably know this. The reason why
Yes.
I'm really just against this whole thing. You know, do people track their steps yet? What do they really do with it? You know what? I really don't know. Some people are just like, I just like to track my steps. Well, then, are you trying to go for weight loss or something endurance or just trying to check? I don't know what people are trying to do with that. And with sleep, here's my general rule. Just go to sleep early. Like, I get people have stresses or whatever it is of every day, like kids, jobs, whatever it is.
History of the
And I know that there are people that are probably watching this or going to watch this and be like, you go to sleep at like 9 o'clock. Well, listen, we all know, and we had this debate earlier, you don't, once you go to sleep, you're not asleep for the whole night. Sometimes you get up, you do whatever it is. Sometimes we have nightmares in the middle of the night. You're up in the middle of the night. But if you can go to sleep, let's say leave yourself that maybe 8 to possibly 9 hours or whatever it is, you'll probably get a solid 6 to 7 hours, depending on, how stressed you are or whatever else you have going on with you. But if you get to sleep earlier, I don't need a watch to tell me, oh, I was tossing and turning. If I'm up, I know this. I can look at the clock.
So
and
that
I'm
would
up.
be awesome if everybody had the luxury to get an extra 2 or 3 hours of sleep.
If
and
they
didn't
could.
have to.
If they could, yeah.
But the reality is that there's a lot to be filled into the 24-hour day. And
Mhm.
so if you only have 5 hours, you want that to be a solid 5 hours. And so if it's not solid, you're able to see that by what your watches tell you if you woke up, and then you can change behavior as a result of that because of data.
I just don't know if people, are going to do it because, like you were saying, that there's only 24 hours a day, and if someone, let's just say, has only 5. By the way, speaking, something just came up on the TV with a watch, or it was kind of, I don't know what it was.
No, that's for.
I don't know. It was just interesting, and I'm like, wait a minute. Imagine if things popped up or whatever.
That's awesome.
But
That'd be awesome.
But my point to that is that and I agree with you. Like 24 hours is definitely not enough in a day for most people. It's just
But
not.
to your point, do you think data is valuable in a watch?
It depends on how and what people use it for. Like, let's just say, for instance, like you were saying, let's just say someone has 5 hours just in general. They don't have more than that. Let's say that they're really stressed. Maybe they're not eating a lot during the day or something like that is going on. Even if they keep tracking that day and they're like, oh, I'm tossing and turning this amount of time, they're not going to be able to change it if they only have that 5 hours. They're going to have to change their lifestyle somehow. So yes,
Yep.
like I would agree with that, and I agree with your point. But if they can add, let's just say, even a half an hour, that's an improvement. If they can't, they're going to have to change their lifestyle. But then if they don't change their lifestyle, then what's the point?
Yep.
So yeah.
And so
Okay.
for folks like myself that don't wear watches, as you can see, for telling time, we need that extra incentive.
By the way,
Why do I want to have something on my wrist? It's not about having something on my wrist.
if you were to
it's
wear something
leveraging.
like this, I gotta ask you this: would
Yeah.
you care about the time as much as you would care about the other features? Like, what would really matter to you a lot?
So I don't know. I use my cell phone functionally as a watch, I guess, right? I care about time, absolutely, but the way that I check it is through my phone.
So you probably wouldn't check it through the watch.
I mean, if I
You
had it
care
on
more
me, that
about
was
it.
easy to.
You would.
sure.
Okay, good.
The benefit of this piece, though, is the fact that just by having your cell phone, you can't get all this data
Yeah.
that the watch is giving you just
Yeah.
by wearing it.
Yeah.
Just like with Fitbit, you know, either you get the data on the Fitbit or you get it through your phone. This is giving you that extra mechanism to give you that data so you can look at your phone and say, you know what?
Yeah.
I got to get my heart rate down.
Yeah.
You know what? I got to get
Yeah.
my cholesterol
The
down.
next question is this: that do you think, you know, as an avid, you know, smart watch or whatever it is wearer,
Yeah.
do you think that you would be able to, you know, find the time, like, you know, and to sit down and say to yourself, you know, let me leave myself an hour, 2 hours during this block or whatever it is to analyze the data and then to go back over and say, I need to improve this here, and then chart it all out and, like, you know, with your steps, set the goals and things.
So as a user of a Fitbit that does that for you, what it looks like is a second. It's here's where I'm at for the day.
Mhm.
I know I need to put in 5,000 extra steps to do whatever I'm trying to do. All right, to your point, maybe I'm not sleeping enough, so maybe I change my lifestyle and I move my exercise from night to the morning so that I can run off my energy and be tired when I have it ready to go to bed. Whatever it is. But yeah, the daily logs are instant. It's not like you're charting anything. It's all instantaneous.
Well, I'm saying to
So you're
plan
just-
it out, like, in
you
terms
look at it
of the...
and then you can do internet research, right, to figure out what you can do with that data. But it's helpful because it's more data than you knew. The others are assumptions off of what you think is happening, which might not be reality. So I could be working out and say, oh wow, you know, that felt like a really good workout. But then when I look down, it says, holy cow, my heart rate was going 40, whatever the metric is, more than it should be at that point in time. So I actually need to slow that down to burn the fat that I'm looking to burn, whatever it is, right? So you can use the data, and it doesn't take a tremendous amount of effort off of that. So as a Fitbit user, when I did wear it, absolutely, it was on my wrist every single day because it was kind of like a personal challenge that you were tracking and you were aware of it. And again, going back to the conversation earlier on mindfulness, sometimes, you know, you get wrapped up in your day and you don't forget. And the watch is a good reminder of what the time is so that you know you have to do something, right? If it has those extra metrics in there, it becomes more valuable to the user.
Now, by the way, speaking of mindfulness, you know one of the things I just thought about? How cool would it be if, like, it could somehow through your skin or through something, whatever it is, even your actions, like picking up on a scent or something. Imagine if this could help people with, like, smoking.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Totally
I just thought about that.
Again, these are
Totally.
next generations that will
Yeah.
come out in the future
Totally cool.
that I think will make this idea better. Guys, this is a starter idea.
Oh
for
yeah,
this
and then
Yeah.
by the way, the one thing that I would personally change, I wanted to, because I said it earlier, I guess Drew and I are both that, and you could certainly have this too, Ashley. I would because Citizen owns them now. Citizen's known for EcoDrive solar power. I would absolutely put solar cells in that and make it a longer lasting battery for sure.
Absolutely,
That's what I would do.
because that does increase the battery life by 5 times at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least, if not 10 times. So, I mean, the EcoDrive.
What would you change?
Like I said, I would give it a because I know a lot of. First of all, I'd make a tank version of it. Okay, to me,
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that.
So a tank is, instead of having a round, more of like a square,
Like
straight
Fitbit.
version.
Okay.
all right, like
And you know what?
Fitbit.
That's a good
However,
point.
I would go and I would try to get something where I have some approval from Rado to make it in ceramic.
Could you imagine if they developed a partnership or something like that?
That would
Oh
be
my God, that would be
fantastic.
great.
If Rado.
Rado,
that,
come on, this is an
baby.
opportunity for you.
This is a great opportunity for you to get into the smartwatch
Absolutely.
market. If you could make, because I would, and Billy, our friend Billy over here, has tried it on.
Hi, Billy.
Hi.
We love you.
And even people who are Fitbit users, they like the feel of ceramic because ceramic is very light. You don't even feel it on your wrist. And everybody who has ceramics is the same thing. I don't even feel it. It's so light.
Yeah.
And the one bad thing I think you're going to find with a traditional watch, especially for people who like wearing Fitbits and Apple Watches, they're going to say it's too heavy. When they work out, it may dig into their hand.
You know
Billy
the
brought up a
component
good
that we
point.
didn't bring up about this watch?
What's that?
Is that it's inconspicuous. So it looks like a watch,
Correct.
right? And you don't necessarily can tell that there's like Fitbit features in there. Saying
Yeah, but
that
think about the
there's
Apple Watch.
something.
It's
So
the
what
same
if
thing, right?
what if somebody didn't necessarily want folks to know what they were doing, that they were doing something different with their behavior, and they could be embedded? That's another
That is-
bonus to it.
That is a
That's
bonus to
interesting.
it as well. The fact that it looks like a watch, the fact that it isn't bulky, it isn't sporty looking, that's a plus in my
Well,
opinion.
I think it's standard size.
Yes, but if they can make a tank ceramic version of it, especially for people who love to work out, they go to the gym and it's not going to dig into their wrist or be too heavy, I think that's a bonus. I think you got to go that route. I think you got to give people that option. because yeah, for it to be waterproof, that's all good. But they want something that they don't feel on the wrist. And a lot of people are allergic to any type of metal, to nickel, to platinum, to any type of
make the
metal.
back of the case like carbon.
Yeah, or make it ceramic. You can make the back of the case ceramic, so you don't have anything. It's just a very light piece. It reminds you more of a band, like one of those fitness bands that they wear for charity events, than it would an actual watch. So I do agree with that. You have to make it lighter. You have to make it a little bit slimmer to actually get that more ergonomic feel that they're looking for. So basically, that pretty much sums up.
I gotta tell you though, I'm so like, cause you know me, we're huge fans of Automax. Like, I'm so on the fence about this. I personally.
Well, to be on the fence is not a no. So that's actually really surprising.
If it improves a little bit,
I think if it has you thinking, I think you and I are automatic aficionados. I think, for us to say, I may get one of these, if it had a couple more improvements, I think that is a success in itself. For the first generation for Swiss to actually come back to the market. Because I would have never said I would have gotten a Fitbit. I would have never said I would have gotten an Apple Watch. But when you put Swiss in front of me, and you make it look like a watch, and you give it some features, it's not all the way there yet. I think it's still got a little bit more to go. I think if you can make it an automatic combination.
I'm going to ask you this question, right? Because I know that you change watches out so frequently. How would this benefit you?
How would it benefit me?
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for somebody who's never had a smartwatch, okay, how would it?
How often would you wear this, and how would it benefit you?
I think for me, it's more of a curiosity aspect than it is anything else. I happen to be in shape. It's not that I need to do it for any specific
come on,
purpose.
you fatty McFats.
Well,
I'm kidding.
I'm just saying, I don't need to do it for any specific purpose.
It's
I
not
have to
necessarily
do
lose
it.
weight though. Sometimes
No, of course
data's
not.
just,
No, a lot of people use those.
Challenge yourself.
Right, okay,
Yeah, people love to do it with their
Right.
spouse.
Yeah.
I agree.
That was never my goal. So for me, it's a different aspect. I'm more curiosity. I'm interested to see what my heart rate is. I'd be interested to see what my cholesterol is. For somebody
Yeah,
who's
you can tell
had...
me that. I'll look at it.
Right.
Right?
I've had
Just have those eggs.
My cholesterol has been on the higher side. Maybe I have a family gene pattern, especially with people who go to Ancestry.com, they go to 24
Maybe
or
it's good for
23
doctor
days.
visits. too.
It could. Okay, that's where I would find it
I'm
interesting.
saying, would you wear it enough? Because I know you
could
switch
see
out
that.
watches a lot. Would you wear it enough to be able to get enough data?
Oh sure, I think. What do you normally need for good data on smartwatch?
I'm sorry, I'm missing the context.
What do you need a whole to say to yourself?
How
This
often
is
do you
my
need to
cholesterol.
wear it in order for it to be like?
What do you think?
I mean, it depends on how, I guess,
Right?
No, I was going to say it depends on how much your days differ. So if like you're on a 9 to 5 every day of the week, Monday through Friday, and then I would do maybe 2 weeks because you put in a weekend and there's going to be different.
See,
So it depends on like what you're doing.
He changes between watches so much that for him, I know.
Because also during the week you have things going on that will put you out. You might be bowling, you might do something else, and so that's going to put more one day. And so you have to take all that into
But in
I don't
consideration.
terms
think you
of
would wear it enough.
cholesterol, in terms of heart rate, what do you think is a good barometer?
Wait, does it track cholesterol and things like
Oh
that?
yeah, this tracks
Oh, it
cholesterol.
does.
Yep, I read that.
Do you have to import it, or it doesn't really
I have no idea. I don't have
There's
one yet.
likely to be an estimated instant, and then if you wanted to like refine it,
You could do it yourself.
So I mean, do you think like for a week, 2 weeks would give you a good
I would say 2
barometer
weeks
of
would
where
give you a
are?
solid feel, yeah.
Because for me, like Jared says, I change out a lot. So basically, what I would do is wear it for a week or 2 weeks, come back in a month, wear it again, and see what what has changed. Has my heart rate gone? Take it out, wear it another month. I track myself maybe monthly, once a week for a month, and then do a little data on the first of every week. I don't need to wear it all the time because I got other watches I have to wear anyway.
Should we call Dr. Fox?
Right, absolutely. So but that's what I would more use it for. It's more of a curiosity to me because I've never had anything like this, and Ashley has. So that's why I defer to her because she knows a lot more.
Yeah,
than
I mean, I
would
definitely think
discover.
you have to do it regular because your daily habit is not always going to be the same. So to do it at one point at the same point every month is probably going to read the similar fashion.
You think it would get the similar
Probably.
read?
If you're doing the same thing versus like, again,
So it should
during
be
the
more
week.
consistent.
During the week, absolutely. I
More
think more
consistent.
consistent for at least whatever duration that you're doing it. And maybe it's just to train for that run that's coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe it's,
Yeah,
whatever that point in time.
And that's something we talked about earlier.
Or maybe it's a
something that
maintenance thing, so it might be that 1 point a month and that's sufficient for you.
And you know what?
right?
Even one of the things I could say is that even doctors could recommend this to their patients and things like that. Be like, listen, because it costs them so much more money to, let's say, rent out a machine to them or give them a machine. It's like, instead of strapping all this stuff to your body, just put it on your wrist. Something like that could be more beneficial to them. I'm just thinking about
the
what the
possibilities
benefits
are endless. Where this could go, I think it's a
Actually,
good
would you
first
agree with
step.
that one or no?
Yeah, it's never going to replace like a heart monitor.
Oh, yeah,
Something that's got to go on your body.
I'm
but
talking
you're
about just like a daily
yeah.
activity, just to check in with the health wise, like we were saying. I think
I'm sure
something
those
like that would be-
conversations take place today between primary cares and their patients.
Well, because I know you're in the
Say,
field. I know it's
Absolutely.
something that,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think it's like I said, the possibilities are endless. It's a great first step. I'm glad the Swiss industry, even though it was bought by Citizen, the fact that they're incorporating their technology, and they left them alone, guys. These are still Swiss watches. I don't want you to think they're Citizen watches. They're not. They're owned by Citizen. It's just the
But they're
parent
still
group.
Swiss made.
They're still made in Switzerland. Alpina and
It's kind of like
Breitling.
Breitling. Like they got bought out by like this whatever group, but they're still Swiss made.
It's the same thing. Cruise ships do this all the time. Carnival bought out Princess, but they left them alone. They're still their own company. They just own them and take some
and you
profits.
never need to reset it because it always syncs with your phone, so it's always correct time.
Yeah, it's the other great thing, and same thing with Fitbit now, same thing. So there is a lot of positives, there are some negatives, still some places to go, but we will see how that all turns out in another episode of It's About Time.